Kind of reminds me of the cruise where
Yeah, right.
the mother-in-law just does not want to pass
Does not
over or
want to
to roll
stop.
over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's good. We have great people. So wait, hey there, Twitch. How's it going? Hi.
Hello. Over
Hey,
here.
so we are back online for the first time in a week. I was sick last week. We had family crises happen last week as well. So thanks for those who were watching for the channel to happen, but it didn't happen. Sorry. We are now back though, and we're playing the third session of our To Be a Beastkeeper campaign for the Roll for Wishes campaign. We're up over $105 to $105 on a Roll for Wishes campaign. So for those of you who don't know what's going on, we are purposefully. Hey, there's a person that I want to kick out of the chat. There you go. Marvelous. Go away. The in any case, so we're doing a fundraiser for the Make-A-Wish International Organization through a D&D campaign that they wrote called Roll for Wishes. And actually, there's 3 different modules in it. We're doing the first one, To Be a Beastkeeper, right now. That was decided by the dice as to which one we were going to do. And inside, what I'm going to put out there for everybody, though, of course, is we're trying to raise all this money by March so that they can, make some wishes happen. So if you are so inclined, there is the link to the fundraiser. Feel free to jump on that and throw a few dollars at it, because the more we can get into that, the more the bigger the impact we can have on some people who have some serious need of it and are far too young to be able to do much about it themselves. So yeah, that's the Roll for Wishes stuff. We also have a whole bunch of other stuff. We're going to get back into the full swing of things this week. We've got Today campaign. We've got tomorrow the Witchlight campaign. I think they finally figured out what they're going to do. I don't know. They're trying to. They survived 3 hags. That's about as far as we've gotten. What they're going to do about that now? That they've had a big lore drop last session, so they're going to see if they can figure out what they want to do with it.
I was wondering if my Witchlight campaign already caught up to yours, but we are down 2 hacks. You're still ahead of us.
We're a little ahead still yet, but
they are now in yawn. So.
Oh well, they are just thinking of leaving it.
Honest,
so
we could have been down to 2 hags, but we failed to kill hags.
Oh, they also, my group also did not kill any
They
hags.
Oh, well, there
so
you go.
Close to kill.
They annoyed one.
So close.
they annoyed one because they did do the heist with the Will of the Feywild to free children. So a lot of children got freed, and the hag got scared off.
Well, they did do the heist as well for my campaign. The difference was before they did that, they started a forest fire first.
Okay, also very destructive.
We fireballed the hag.
That is true. You have now fireballed all 3 hags.
Fireballed ourselves.
You have a crash, like a card, going check. That one, yes, check.
Now they just got to get to Sibylla. Okay, so the
fireball her.
Yeah, there you go. So that's our Witchlight campaign that's happening tomorrow. Zelda may or may not kick off again tomorrow night as well. I'm just reading messages here from Verod. Baby is sick for Verod, so he might not be able to run a game tomorrow night, but if he does, you'll be watching Legend of Zelda Echoes, and they're playing that with Pathfinder. And then on Friday, we are back with 2 different games. Our Olivon Chronicles game, where there's a little bit more political intrigue starting to kick in now too. And then on Friday again at, I think it's 1:30 UTC PM, is the Adventures of Valor Inn that Caffeine is running. So all sorts of things happening on the channel. Feel free to check it all out. Also on our website, is this the code I do for it? No, that's not it. How about this one? Neither one of those were it. Oh, there it is. There we go. So you can always check out all of our schedule stuff right there too. And of course, if you wanted to, there is swag. You can, well, it's not stuff we all get. It's stuff we all get if you pay for it. But it is still, like things if you're interested, like B stickers and D's nuts stickers and things like that. So feel free to jump in on that if you so chose. That gives me all my announcements. I'm out of the way with those now, guy. So we now get ourselves back into this year campaign. So, where we left off. First, the group that we had was enlisted by a ranger of sorts who lives in a town right beside a magical forest. And they have at this town an animal sanctuary. The animal sanctuary has this um, young girl who really wants to um, care for some of the most misunderstood beasts amongst the realm of Noxtern. And this ranger is trying to fulfill her wish because, first of all, this young girl is not doing so well. She is actually rather sick. And so trying to fulfill a wish before she so that she can enjoy that to the best of her ability. She enlisted you to go hunt for a variety of different creatures. There was a dragon, a kraken, a griffin, and a unicorn. And I'm missing one. I will look it up here in just a second. But there's a number of different creatures that you guys were sent off for. So you first went towards the griffin, and were able to capture one, although in not without about 75 different failed checks first. But we were still able to get there and bring it back to the animal sanctuary where there was an Irie waiting for it. It's where you also left Juniper, who had started the group. It started with the group. She is now kind of helping to set up the animal sanctuary in such a way that you don't have to worry about mythical creatures flying away. But you also met Wet. And so Wet joins Peleus and Uck, and are now on their way had been on their way, I should say, to a fishing village where there were rumors of a kraken swimming about in a lake, which is, first of all, highly unusual. Kraken don't tend to like lakes; they tend to like salt water. But this is what the story was. So you went out there, and sure enough, when you arrived at the fishing village, the fishermen were already out in arms on the water trying to hunt down this kraken to protect their village. As you met them with your motorboat version powered by way of Wet, you discovered that they really were just trying to kill this thing, but there wasn't anything in the water as far as you guys could tell. You also noticed some teenagers, some younger adults, we'll call them, who were watching from the sidelines nearby a cave mouth, and went to them to discover that perhaps the rumors of the kraken were somewhat exaggerated, that the kraken wasn't as big as all that. You eventually convinced the fishing village that you're going to manage the kraken yourselves, to not cause harm to it, and maybe to address the children for crying wolf, as it were. And into the cave you went under the instructions of the children, who told you that that's where they saw the kraken. And you did indeed. You've now gotten into this cave. It is dark in this space. You have a boat with you, and looking to try to wrangle this water creature, you have Wet has tried to go invisible. You've bandied around the idea of bringing the boat out into the cave, but you haven't really solved it yet. So, what is it that you guys would like to do? The last thing you saw of this kraken was it being somewhat scared off, and it is not large. Like, it's about a cat-sized creature at this point in time. It's not a large creature, but it is swimming.
It must have some trick or other, otherwise.
So what are you guys gonna do? You have this cave with no light. Although I think, actually, now that I think about it, I think you actually put up some dancing lights. Nope, they fell because you did invisibility. We're good. So.
No, I've got that. I've got my power running, which enables us to see in the dark.
Oh, that's right. That's where it was. Thank you. So.
What's it called? Eyes of Night, I think it is.
Yes. What's your next attempt? What are you guys going to try to do to wrangle this wretched water creature?
I was just in the water, right? When last session I went after it.
Yes.
So when I come back out of the water, it's all the foul, stinking water is dripping off of me. It's hiding somewhere, guys. It's small. It's the size of a cat. What? Why are we looking for this creature again? Why do we need it? It looks very
Is that
scared, and I'm talking to the players,
Okay,
of course.
good.
It's the size of a cat, you say?
And it's very startled very fast. So
Maybe if we move fast enough, we can kill it.
just like this, our agents, and I don't see why we should kill it. To be honest,
Well,
it
and
should
Vio
be set
is also
free.
still with you.
There's no connection to the by water from the cave pool to the ocean, right?
That is correct. And this Vio is with you, and Vio would take this moment to remind you that they have something at the animal sanctuary to take care of it. It's too and say probably say, I think it's too young to be on its own.
We can bash it about a bit, but we shouldn't be killing it.
I'd say we
Well, I mean,
bring it
you're
back
a
alive.
cleric. Kill it and revive it. Isn't that the easiest way?
I can't revive anything. I can put it to the long rest, the long night.
We could put it to sleep.
In a manner. We won't be getting back up again.
Do we have any way to restrain the creature?
Maybe
I could put it to sleep.
maybe we can bait it, lure it out of the water. Let's say. Would
What
I
does
know?
it like to eat?
Yeah, exactly. Would I know? Since I am from the deeps,
Children.
with my knowledge of krakens, know what it would like to eat.
Go ahead and roll a
Maybe
history
it
check.
likes to eat sea elves.
We could go back and get one of the kids for it.
17.
Okay, so it will. You will know that the largest kraken, they will go hunting pretty close to anything that has blood running through its veins. But baby kraken, they still need to be able to get their mouths around it, and they still have to be able to get their tentacles around it too. So it can't be much. It can't be much larger than itself.
In last session, I quickly did my my sheet while we were doing the session. So I
Yes.
did some choices there of sorcery that I have changed. So I changed my origin.
Oh, okay.
Where before I was I think I chose shadow or something.
Mhm.
I now
Fathom it.
no wait, cannot find it anymore. I cannot find my own origin anymore.
Clockwork Soul.
Arrogant mind is it? Sorry.
Aberrant mind. Okay, yes.
Aberrant mind. Yeah. So
Yep.
if you would like, I could try and swim back, and if I spot it quick enough, I could try and make a telepathic bond with it. Maybe we could try and communicate it. And
I mean, that's plan A. Plan B could be finding a halfling, using that as bait. I mean, I'm sure we could
are there
find a
halflings in
halfling.
our group?
Don't mind losing.
There are not halflings in this group.
I remember there's a halfling that I knew named Dottie. We could find her. Oh,
Or we could
seriously,
try and lure it with his favorite food. What did I remember? What the favorite food was?
Their favorite food was fleshy food without fur, but
Halflings included. Okay.
the halflings included, but that they are not when they're hungry, they're not that picky.
Could we use some sort of illusion to lure it out? Would they be able to tell an illusion?
That is the
Well,
question.
it was quick enough to stay out of my way and evade me, so I would say it is of some
An
intelligence.
illusion of a baby? That's going to sound even worse. Something small, non-furry, humanoid
Are you?
that it can get its mouth around. We can use that as a way to lure it out, and then we trap it. Do we have a trap? I don't have a trap. I know two things: how to rage and how to kill while raging. So that's my toolkit. If anyone has another option, please tell me, because that's my entire toolkit.
All right, Ook, just stay in the background then and keep quiet.
I can hit it really hard, but that's it.
We'll call you when we want Ook to smash.
We could try and see if it will come out. Maybe we can subdue it with magic.
I can sleep it, potentially.
And or maybe calm its emotions, or even read its thoughts. I could try.
All right, so you guys have some
We could try fishing
ideas.
for it. We could try fishing for it.
You mean to first catch something else and
Yeah. We can either borrow some bait, or we need to catch some, get a rod and.
If the cleric had some sort of resurrection spell, I could just lie down and leave the creature eat me, and then you can resurrect me, because you can resurrect me without using any components. It's free, just the spell slot.
Yes, I have a resurrection spell.
I don't think you are the appropriate bait for it, because it's not that big. It's like an octopus, like a little octopus. It will never attack a human size. I went in and it more ran away from me, to swim away from me, than it
What about a
tried
hand?
to
Would
try
it
to eat
attack
me.
a
But
hand?
yeah,
Well, if someone has a good idea, I don't know.
I get my warhammer in preparation of smashing his Ook's hand off.
but we were gonna take it. Can we all agree on it that we will take it alive?
And Theo will say, "I will agree to that."
Yeah,
I mean, it's hard to judge hitting something on the head. You've got to hit it just right to not kill it, but to stun it well enough. It's a tricky challenge. I fail it most of the time. So
Let me see if I can communicate with it telepathically.
we could try scaring it out.
please
We
try.
could cast a number of sacred flames into the water.
Let's see, my even kijken, invisibility was an hour, so I'm still invisible.
You are?
I don't think I dropped it. So
Nope, you have not.
okay, I will go back into the water, and you see like a disappearance of the water where you can see me go in without actually seeing my body. As I go down into in the muck.
Would it help to have an actual light source?
A little bit. So he has less places to hide.
I'm gonna
Just place
cast
them
light-
over the water,
onto
please.
wet, onto some piece of equipment I see of wet to hold a light spell.
All right, so you don't see Wet. Wet is invisible.
You could use it on the stone. It's
But it's stuff in the pool should light up a little bit, even though it's darkish water. And I will look around to see if I can see the little baby kraken.
Well, you would have seen it. You won't give you another perception check where it was going, and so what you would have seen from the last time you went in there to try and find it, is it was moving away from you. And inside this cave, underneath the water, you can actually see a completely different landscape. There's rocks and boulders, and the sides of the cave that kind of have little corners around it. You get the sense that it would have gone around a corner about
I will
80 feet
swim
away.
around to look for it.
Okay, so you do swim around, and I mean, you have no problem swimming. This is your natural environment. Looking around to where you think it went to, there's still some shadows being cast in certain places in various areas, but you get the
And then
sense
I
that it's
use
nearby.
dancing. I use dancing lights to create lights underwater.
And so by
And
doing that,
with setting 4 torches, I can put in all a radius of 120 feet from me. So I try to light up several big spots in the ocean or in the pool floor.
okay, so as
To
you release your dancing lights, your body comes back to vision because your
true,
visibility drops.
true.
So your
This is
dan-
also a concentration spell. So
yes, so dancing lights, you see, you're able to place them out, and now you can actually get good solid light on everything, and you do see that the Kraken is kind of this it looks like a wart covered octopus, but
the
it
moment
is
I see it,
cowering in
I
a
will
corner.
try and make a telepathic connection with it.
Sure, sure.
I can bind my mind to that of another.
They need to
Even
have.
kijken.
Okay,
They need to understand.
it needs to
If it
understand.
if it needs to understand languages, basically.
Okay, let's see what it understands here. Just give me one moment.
You must speak mentally in a language of another that the other knows. Oh wait. All right. So I don't do need to talk in a language that he needs to talk.
Right.
Haven't you got Aquan?
Primordial is my other
Yeah.
language.
All right, let's see what he's got. I don't know that he's gonna have a lot, but let's see what we can find.
If anything, it's going to be primordial, isn't it?
All right, here we go.
Calm yourself, little
You
one.
can speak Gnomish and Orc.
Yeah.
And
He likes to visit land every so often.
So
All right.
in primordial,
It does speak.
telepathically,
Yeah.
primordial, I try to calm it like a little child. Don't be afraid, little one. I'm not here to hurt you. We are here to help you come back to the ocean.
But my mom.
Yeah, she's looking for you.
No, she's not.
Why?
She's gone.
Oh, really? Well, then you need to take after yourself now. But don't worry, we're here.
Those
And
kids were mean.
Yeah, that's what kids do. They don't understand who you are and how special you are. But you don't need to hide here in this mucky cave. You belong in the ocean, or you will grow as big as your mom and sink your own ships.
Roll persuasion check.
I was gonna cast Calm Emotions also, just to see if it
Sure.
helps, even though it only works on humans. So rule that, as you see, I still try
Okay.
to... I still cast a spell. Oh, that's also
Sure.
concentration, by the way, so...
Your
maybe that's
dancing
not
lights
as
are gonna get
handy as
dark.
the... Yeah, okay, then never mind. Then I will
Okay,
not.
okay.
I will keep the lights on.
Okay.
Otherwise, it will startle. Persuasion check. So with 24.
Nice. That's a good roll. That's a great
Two
roll.
nice.
All right, so the creature kind of like it's still you see it kind of like doing a little shudder in the water, and it kind of every once in a while you actually see one of its tentacles kind of reach out for something small, some small like shrimp or something along those lines that is in the water, and just kind of put it into its mouth and just but still cowering itself in its corner, and it seems to
Are you
relax.
hungry?
Uh-huh.
We couldn't get you some food. I can imagine this pool does not have enough prey for you, so
Uh-uh.
let
Uh,
let me get my friends to get you some food, right?
uh-huh.
So we're going fishing after all.
I'll be back. I'll be back soon.
Uh,
Don't worry.
okay, okay. Who are you?
And I will. Oh, sorry, I'm wet. And what's your name? Do you have a name?
No?
It's just like,
Do you? Would you like a name? We humans always have names, or at least we humanoids.
Maybe?
How about Cracky?
Cricky. That's my uncle.
Oh, so the big ones do have names. You just never had one from your mom? What did your mom call you?
Greasy.
let's
And
call him
Greasy it
Big
is.
Steak.
You're right back, Greasy. And I swim away from him as
Okay.
my head pops up from the water and... Okay, guys, I found him. His name is Greasy. And it's just a little scared adolescent kraken, baby kraken. He's just scared and wants to go home. His mom is dead, apparently. But he will come willingly, I think, if we just maybe feed him first. He's hungry. Why don't you ask the fisher guys if they have some fish left over? Maybe we can feed it to him.
Mm.
Don't come across as very
I will
friendly.
keep him company and safe.
Mm.
I got food in my pack.
And the food? Is it
Rations, hardtack.
rations? He's not a duck you can feed. I mean, he needs fresh meat,
I'm back with some
preferably from the sea.
I'm back with some bread in a minute.
I don't think a bologna
I'll
sandwich
go
will.
over to the fisherman and ask for some fish.
Sure. So the fishermen have kind of left you alone for the most part, but there's still some out in the lake. But there's also the community. It's a little bit of a walk away, but not that far of a walk away. So you're gonna yell out to the lake, or you're gonna yell out to the community, or go to the community. I guess it's your call.
I'm gonna go to the community.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay away from the lake.
Sure. So as you approach the dock there,
And I'll tell Dak to mind the entrance of the cave.
all right. So as you approach the dock there, you do see that there is a
Alias.
couple of fishermen pulling up a crate that has a number of crustaceans in it, lobsters and such, and just the sorry, not lobsters. That's a really dumb thing to say. It's freshwater. Let me try that again. It is
Crayfish.
yeah, they're bringing in a catch. They're bringing in a net, small net, nothing massive, and just laying it out onto this into this trough that they've got set out there. And so you do see that they've got some fish handy there, and they're currently putting, trying to sort through some stuff to get themselves for their catch for the day. Did you deal with it?
Yes. Partly. I need a fish.
A fish.
Several fish.
What for?
And then it will be out of your hair forever.
Are you like you're just is this what they're paying? They're paying fish. Okay, they're paying fish.
I will purchase a fish. I will take out a gold coin.
Yeah, okay. You can just have this whole thing then. And they and one of them actually pulls over for you this barrel. And just they kind of start pouring some of this trough out into the barrel. So there's lots of fish in the barrel, not much for water. I'm going to say they probably pour for you something like 10 fish. for the gold coin.
I will take the 10 fish, ask them to put them in some sort of container that I can carry, and carry the fish back to the cave.
Yeah, barrel will work, and just kind of hands it over to you.
I shall put the barrel on my shoulder and just walk nonchalantly to the cave, singing my song.
So you guys watch.
My
Halt!
personal
Who are you?
I have my own theme tune. When I'm successful in a mission, I sing my ook song and move to the cave.
Love it.
As
And
I
so,
pass by Dak, I will just say, "Well, you did nothing to help, useless priest," and just walk
I
past.
thank the goddess on your behalf.
so you walk past Peleus and back into the cave. Wet, you do see Uck carrying a barrel upright on his shoulder. Just lifts it down, places it down on the ground in front of you.
I shall pull out a napkin, and where do I tie this
What do you
around
do?
the
Put knife and fork out for it as well.
creature's? Where do I tie this around the creature's neck?
Yeah, you can go in. Go in. It's at the back of the cave, apparently. It will let you tie it around its neck,
I
I'm
will
sure.
bring my napkin and the barrel over to the little thing.
Well, now
And
it's well
try
into the
to-
cave. It's like 80 feet into the cave. You'd have to swim your napkin into him. You're muted,
Yeah,
Sky.
just
You're
throw them
muted.
both on the ground and
Sorry.
walk off.
I don't think napkins will work underwater. Thank you, Ak. But some fish will do. Oh, you've bought some fine specimens. I can see they're all long and slimy, just the way we like it.
I'll hold out my hand. 2 gold coins.
It's the you need money back from the doing your groceries.
2 gold coins
2
is
gold
what
coins,
it
you say?
costs. Steep price, but
Inside check.
as you said, they're
Yes.
finding fish.
Deception check.
What was that?
You want a deception check from a barbarian? Are
I
you
do.
serious?
I do. Or intimidation is your choice, really, when it comes right down to it.
I'll do deception. It's so slow, it's ridiculous. Oh, 17, 16.
Yeah, Wet. Apparently, these fishermen really value their fish income.
Get a little pouch and hold for the good investment, I guess. So yeah, sure. I thought we would split things in this group, but there you go.
2 coins for the fish and 1 coin to transport.
Here you go. And I give him the two golden coins. As I swing back to
And I
the Kraken.
sing my song. And that's
All right, so you swim your way back into the Kraken. It's still in the corner, although it seems to be much more relaxed, and is just kind of floating. It has big bulbous eyes on its head, on its head corpus, and the eyes seem to be just kind of not really looking in any particular direction at the moment.
I'm looking, but I think I can always make a telepathic connection with somebody. Doesn't matter. There's no limit on it.
It's just a bonus action. You just get her done.
Yeah. Yes, I'm that. So I will keep talking telepathic with it as I come back with some fish. Here you go, little greasy.
Hi, Wet.
Breakfast is served, and I throw some. Threat is not really throwing; it's on the water. But
Well, and one of a few of the fish that you throw out there, they just kind of float and kind of twist around belly upish. But one of them actually kind of shudders a little bit and starts to scoot away. And very quickly, Greasy does this dart through the water and just immediately wraps its tentacles around it and sucks it in to its face. And you like it's kind of a gruesome look at first to see how it kind of tears apart this fish. But then after it finishes putting the last little pieces of it in, leaving very little behind, just a fin for the most part, it kind of turns to the other ones and doesn't move as fast. It just kind of floats over to the other ones and just kind of like hugs them into its face instead.
There's more in a barrel outside. You could climb on my shoulder and hold on while I carry you to the ocean.
A
How about it?
barrel?
It's like a wooden box where more fish is in. We bought a whole bunch for you. Why
Okay.
don't you come with me?
And so he kind of gently comes over and just um,
Don't
slowly
squeeze too hard.
and very carefully um, reaches one tentacle out to kind of brush your shoulder, and it's kind of like at the first touch, just kind of pulls back a little bit, and seeing that you don't respond violently, gently rests its two of its tentacles on your arm, and allows himself to be pulled.
I slowly swim towards the surface. Walk out of the water. Don't startle, guys. I almost went into my Bob voice. Don't, don't startle, guys. Don't be afraid, guys. I brought him out. Meet Greasy.
And you see this
See, he's
tentacle
just
kind of gripped around Wet's arm, a series of tentacles, and kind of over around its back, you can actually see its head and its bulbous eyes, just kind of like looking all around, and seeing you guys, it kind of maneuvers its way to try to have Bob basically superimpose Bob between, not Bob, Wet between. Look at you. Okay, Wet between you guys and
my fault.
and the Kraken. Kind of keep you guys at bay a little bit. Barrel is there, fish is in it.
I, of course, guide him towards the barrel and put my arm down so he can slowly, like, slide over my arm into towards the fish.
Like a sloth-like lemur, just kind of lets himself kind of drip off of you. Gets inside and kind of looks up at you, with like it's not really got much of a bone structure, so it's looking up as really more of it's just kind of rolling around and in amongst the fishes. And you hear in your head, kind of need water.
And I cast create water, seawater,
There you go.
above the barrel.
Much like the meme you sent us earlier on today.
Exactly.
Okay.
10 gallons.
Yeah. And immediately inside your head, you can actually feel it. Almost feels like a sudden breath of fresh air, telepathically communicated to you from this creature.
Well, there we go. Tina, you're going into the boat. Keep going into the boat. There you have it, guys. One Kraken in a barrel. Who's gonna take it? Very carefully, by the way. And I told him we would return into the ocean, so we will make a short stop in between, I guess. But
So when we go to the sanctuary and let it loose in this little
So,
cave, you can explain to it why it's not in the ocean.
yes, X-nay on the selling nay.
VO is going to speak
I
up and
will
say,
be happy.
"We're actually we're taking it to the sanctuary, right? There's ocean water there.
First.
Okay.
It doesn't speak
I
common,
will
by the way.
gladly-
So
Oh,
I will gladly pick up the barrel for a price.
yeah, you're gonna risk yourself getting wet. There's water in it now.
That's fine. That's called danger pay.
Let's see here. I'm going to see what. I'm trying not to play VO too much, but there is a couple of places where they would actually definitely get involved in this.
I think Peleus is more than happy to help me.
What does that? Pick me up and throw me around again like a piece of fairground equipment.
Just to carry the barrel with a kraken in it.
Roll. Nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do it this way, right here. Let's go with. Where is it? Why are all my buttons missing? VO is just going to pick it up.
Even the ladies can help.
Listen. And just as a quick reminder, because I think it's been a hot second since you guys played, VO is not a cleric, by the way. I noticed that, like I said that earlier on. VO is not a cleric. VO is a barbarian. So no problems with being happy to pick this thing up. She's got weird robes.
Got two barbarians.
You've got two barbarians. And so she picks it up and she says, "Lead the way."
The barrel isn't that big.
I mean,
Just don't shake it too much.
pretty big.
He's eating now, so should be quiet for a while.
And so you guys start making your way back towards the sanctuary. To do so, you have to pass through or around the fishing village. You still have that boat for the lake, so you could totally bypass it. What would you guys want to do? Would you want to go to the lake, go around by land, or just bomb right through the
Depends
village? Village is
How
faster.
many hours? How many hours do we still have for the renting?
Well, it's getting close to nightfall. You could
Just
get
take
back
the
to
boat
the.
take the boat until the village and walk the rest. So
There.
we bring the boat on time.
Oh, that's
Just a
right. You
type-
rented. I forgot you rented the boat. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so yeah, you guys easily get that boat back in with Wet's abilities and with your various combined strength. The boat is weighted down on the side that has the barrel of fish in it, a barrel of kraken. But it is you're still able to get it back in time and put it to the dock and give it back in.
Still think we should just take it.
And the fisherman whose name I totally forget right now. So right now his name is Ted. We're gonna call his name Ted. The fisherman, Ted, says, "So did you deal with it? Did you the kraken thing's gone?"
Sure, we cleaned up. Don't have to worry about any kraken. There was never a big kraken anyway.
Well, what was it then?
A little one, but we took care of it.
Huh.
Like
Here's your boat back.
octopus.
I told you, after all, it was more like an octopus than.
Octopus.
So the
Oh,
the kids scared the whole village for nothing. I would talk to those little.
Yeah, I'd give him a good beating. Actually,
You heard my colleague here.
well,
I'll do it if you want. If you're shy of such things.
I'm not paying to do it. I'll be paid to do it instead, because that's not whatever. Hey, so like you killed it. So if you killed it, then take it to Terry's. He'll fry it up, turn it into sushi or something for you.
I quickly turn over to
Where does-
Peleus.
Where does the guy live?
He's got the shop just up there. You can hear the drinks right now. They're just starting to serve up.
We're not serious considering this, right? Theo, help me out here.
Vio's looking very deeply inside the barrel.
I mean, we're not gonna eat it, are we?
Fine.
Don't we get paid to bring it? Let's go to the
Yeah.
sanctuary first.
We can come back for food later. There's your last. Thanks for the boat. Thanks for the pay. And just kind of turns and starts heading back up to Terry's as well. So you guys now have freedom of movement to make your way back to the sanctuary, which you would make it to shortly after it gets pretty dark. So arriving back at the sanctuary, it's going to be nice and quiet. There's not going to be a lot of people there, save for a few people who are working on things. So you will see. Lost my names. You'll see Juniper, but you'll also see.
I've never been there before.
This is actually where you will have met. You will have met by
Oh, sorry.
way of Zelly or Z, who is the ranger that runs the animal sanctuary. And so
that was
you'll
where we started the last session.
right, yeah. So you're going to be back there now, carrying this barrel of Kraken. Zelly is currently working using the large raccoon named Keef to carry a variety of different tools around. And Juniper is actually with the young girl, probably 8 years old, very pale, almost gray skin to her, but not like Duergar gray, more like I don't have enough oxygen to my body kind of gray, but very carefully and deftly moving around small scraps of meat to place inside the eyrie where the griffin is sitting there waiting. So they're currently doing some things there. So as you approach, you see Zelly, the ranger, with a raccoon, stop. And you're back.
Hi Z. We brought along an orphaned kraken for you.
Oh goodness! And then over here, is that Kiefer? Come on over, and just pulls the giant raccoon up to you guys, and kind of helps situate the barrel on Kiefer instead, so that now the raccoon is actually carrying it. And giant raccoon, the bear-sized raccoon, walking toward leads you all over towards another side of the sanctuary where you're passing a variety of different cages and enclosures, to the point where you actually see it the edge of town, and it just simply drops off, and you look over the edge, and what you see is this large net that has kind of been set out into the water, about 10 feet down. So just a small little clip face, 10 feet down, that you could, if you can maneuver it into the water there, that's our spot for it right now.
Just tip it in. Fish and all.
And immediate, like it's a good solid smack as it hits the ground, or it hits the water underneath. Reaching out with their mind, though wet, you could hear it. And just this childlike relaxation of finally being able to breathe properly. My camera is super sketchy right now. There. Or not. Okay. But you have now delivered yourself a kraken, and Z says to you, probably gonna take a rest before you go someplace else now?
Well,
I mean, do we need a rest?
Getting dark, so
It's just because it's dark. I mean, the cabin over there is still available if you want it.
how many rooms does it have again?
It's just a cabin. It's got like a privy and a place for a few places for you to stretch out. It's just one, really.
Does it have a bath?
No. I mean, you did handle that kraken pretty well. You could probably bathe with it.
I'll come in and check on the little guy. His name is Grease, by the way. He
Grease.
said.
I never knew Kraken had names.
He does. His uncle is named Cracky, he said. And unfortunately, he lost his mom, so he is kind of an orphan. So
We'll get him strong enough that he can get out again.
I will. Does anybody talk primordial in your sanctuary?
Primordial. How does that go?
I tell him this is how primordial sounds in primordial. Probably like,
No. No. Apparently, I need to find a teacher.
Okay, then let me just talk to the little fella and tell him, because we were gonna bring him back to the ocean, so he will be a little bit surprised being let loose into like a zoo
Well,
or a sanctuary.
tell you what, if you can get this little guy, Greasy, to get used to Terran here, and she kind of gestures over to the young girl, and just kind of beckons her over away from Juniper, and this girl comes up besides. Hi. And
You're gonna take care of him?
take care of what? And Zelly looks down to her. They brought a Kraken.
And I stick my hand into the barrel, and in primordial, I will speak to him telepathically.
No, the
Come,
Kraken's
Greasy,
already in the water.
Oh, sorry,
Right?
it's already in the water. Excuse me.
Yeah,
You
okay.
already chucked him in. You're right.
Yeah.
Then I put my hand into the water and telepathically ask him to come up and greet his caretaker.
Captor.
And so it kind of comes out, and it does now. There's no vocal cords on this Kraken, but it does reach out and kind of do a little curl around your hand, Wet, and
He can talk telepathically to me. So.
yeah, and says, caretaker.
You're just because you lost your protection of your mother and you're still little. We brought you to a place where you can grow up until you're a little bit stronger before you can venture out yourself into freedom again. So see it as a school, a place where you can grow and learn, and she will provide for you. She will feed you and
She's gonna provide me
make
schools?
sure. Yeah, she will provide you with learning and
Just tell it. It's
keep
now
your water clean so that it's not as mucky as the other where you were in the cave, and keep you healthy.
If she keeps giving me schools of fish, I'm happy. And she just kind of and it reaches up these tentacles towards Terran. And Terran just kind of does this petty.
Just don't eat her, okay?
Oh, okay. When?
I think he's hungry again, and I say to Terran, maybe you should throw some fish in.
Okay. And she just goes and starts walking. It's not very fast, but it looks like she's taking up some of her energy to get to some form of food. And you can now say very confidently that this child is now connected to this child Kraken. And you guys can take yourselves a long rest at this point. This is just a really small podunk town. There's not a lot for downtime, but if you guys wanted to go hunt for it, you guys could. Or you could just go straight into the next day and just say, we're just going to take our long rest. We're going to get our job done and see what happens. So what do you guys want to do?
Where's the food in the local inn?
The food is clam chowder, and there is sausage available as well. There are breads and mostly kind of heavy sourdough kind of ideas. But there is food that you could that could be had. In terms of the ales, there's not much for selection. There's basically a pale ale and a dark ale, and that is pretty much it.
Sounds like a pretty good menu, guys. We don't need to hunt ourselves, I would think. How about I treat you to a fine dinner and we can share stories and contemplate on when we will take our next bath.
I was just about to suggest the same thing to you.
Oh, well, you pick up the tab this time and I will do it tomorrow. Good fellow.
No, that you treat us all to dinner and we can share stories, is what I meant.
On me then, and you'll do next time. As I will
I'm a poor barbarian.
invite the three of you, my new friends. Come join me. I will pay for the
Friends.
evening and get you guys good food and maybe a little bit tipsy as well.
A little bit tipsy. One drink maximum.
I'll tell you of my times as a sailor. So before I told you I was a pirate, but I changed the
Change the background to sailor. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
Just
hate
not to be
sailors.
very, very conflicting with the tone on my voice. I was gonna, when I first did Wetty, it was gonna be he's gonna be a pirate, but his voice was this. So
That is
Wait.
so offensive. I'm saying that everyone that does a pirate accent like that is just,
Yeah.
you know.
It's so
Sailors just travel from port to port, isn't it?
I did long travels as a sailor before, but
And what did you usually do when you reach port
in which
after a
part?
long voyage?
Well, of course we find love in a warm bed somewhere in the harbor, mostly. I would say more
Okay.
more lust than love, maybe.
Well, as a thespian, as a barbarian thespian, I would never do such terrible, disgusting, disgraceful things.
Not even for your,
I'm a man of honor.
not even when you are acting out on persona.
Maybe there's a new part I can find. I mean, I potentially could apply to do a new play where I play a sailor. That's not a bad idea.
I'm
Maybe give
I'm
me some
open.
pointers.
I'm open if you want to pick my mind a little bit for some sailing stories. I have a lot of them. And how about you, Peleus? What brings you to this little town and the sanctuary?
Just traveling with these idiots, really.
So you just stumbled upon this place? Or?
Yeah, we've been around a bit. I was at sea for a while till a bunch of pirates destroyed my ship, left me for dead.
Really?
So I'm in the process of hunting them down one by one and ending their miserable existences.
Wait. This is also my terrible backstory. As ruthless pirates also murdered my captain and crewmates, plundered my ship, and left me for dead, and vengeance will be mine.
You weren't on the ship, the Merry Rose, were you?
Wait, we sailed together. Why do I not? Why don't I recognize you?
Yeah, wait, so it's coming back now. All those years of
gosh.
pain and torment.
What role did you have on the ship?
Wet. Come in, brother.
No, it must have been a different ship. But it sounds like the same guys. Could you describe them for me? How did they look? The other ship? Were it pirates or
Yeah, well,
another nation or?
3 of them are dead now, so we don't have to worry about them anymore. I found out, I produced a list of names with 3 chalked out.
What was the ship's name that attacked you? That's what I'm wondering.
It was for your sake, Peleus. The name of the ship was called the Anger of the Squid.
The Anger of the Squid.
This is the same one. The same one that cursed me. As suddenly tentacles, dark tentacles,
Hell.
start to sprout out of me from dark energy and starts to reach out to everybody 10 feet around me. It was them! I shout.
And you'll hear from the kitchen or nearby the kitchen this halfling lady that has been serving you, kind of red hair, slightly grayed, with big old spectacles on her. She'll just shout out to you. She says, "Oi! Outside if you're gonna do that."
Right away, the energy just goes zoop, in again.
Straight.
Sorry. Intense backside story. Sorry.
Intense. Right. You're the ones helping that Zelly lady, right?
We are.
All right. Well, you keep that shit to yourself, and I'll give you this food for free, but only because you're helping that kid.
Was generous. See, guys, good things come to good people. I offer to pay, and it's for free. What comes around comes around.
No good deed ever goes unpunished.
Ain't that the truth? And she turns around and walks back into the kitchen.
I heard that the clam chowder is good here.
And yeah, you will have had some of the clam chowder. You will have had your fill of whatever it was that you wanted that tonight. If you want to imbibe, if you want to imbibe, tell me. All right. So with that, then I think we'll say you guys have yourselves a little bit of a start to your backstories. You turn in for the evening after a long day of dealing with ornery fishermen and baby kraken. And now we'll find your peaceful long rest in a cabin that is not too uncomfortable by any stretch. It's pretty much just a fireplace and some floor, but it's a place to go, and so a place to get yourself a good quality sleep without interruption. And so when you wake up in the morning, you can check back in at the animal sanctuary, where you would be reminded that you have 3 more creatures that she's asked you to get. And they are, let's see here, make sure. So you've already got yourself your griffin, you've got yourself your kraken. There is now a unicorn, a dragon, and what is told to be an old phoenix that they're hoping that you guys can collect for the animal sanctuary.
Should we go for the dragon next? I feel like exercising my hammer.
Anything where I can get to hit something, I'm cool with.
We'll probably have to subdue it. They're real arrogant, nasty creatures.
Let's see here.
Well, the unicorn.
All right. So with that, a unicorn, a phoenix, and a dragon. Yes, and yes, Caffeine. Good to see you in the chat there. So Caffeine just popped in saying hi. Caffeine. I don't know if you know this, but Dottie has already been threatened to be Kraken food, but whatever.
It's terrible. Poor little halfling.
All right, so what do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to go for a dragon? What they're saying, what Zelly will tell you is that if you're going for the dragon, you would be heading off to a place called Carneath Castle.
What kind of dragon, if I may ask?
That I don't actually know.
It would be nice to have some information about it. I mean, every dragon is different, and one is more dangerous than the other. So, like,
indeed,
some sort would be nice. Then we can prepare ourselves for it. If it's like a red dragon, we know we should bring water, lots of water.
Well, let's see here. That's the challenge, is that there's not too many people who get close to it.
And who sighted this dragon?
it is not big, but people are scared of the name of the word dragon. We're not much for tough people around these parts.
No, but I mean, who have seen it last?
Oh, the last people to see it. I'm sorry. There was. I don't know if anybody's actually seen it. The rumors from the castle. There was a old scullery maid, that said that there was something funny there, but the castle's long since been abandoned. So it's people have actually been trying to go to it because there was thought to be wealth in the castle, and then there, well, wasn't as much as people thought.
Those people have not seen the dragon when they were there?
I, not. Let me put it to you this way: nobody whose voice I would trust.
What do you think,
But-
guys? Should we
there's a-
check it out?
If there's a dragon there, it's. I can't imagine it being very big, because if it was big, we'd see it. It would be in the sky. It would definitely have its area.
If there's treasure there and there wasn't as much as people thought, it might have found the rest of it. They're really greedy, avaricious creatures, dragons. We should be careful.
I think
Not
it's a
all of
good.
them, but-
I think it's a
Most.
good plan for most situations that involve dragons. Yes.
We could poison the dragon and then give it the cure and like pretend we've like helped it. It might owe us then.
I leave the means to you so long as it gets here safely. If we
You
can
mean
take care of
alive?
it here. Well, safely for you, yes. Alive. And in such a way that we will be able to befriend it in such a way that we are allied, not at odds. I'm hoping to play on its pity.
And it's pity.
The dragons have been known to show pity.
So I'm just
I
watching
feel
Carnivore
like I should
around
ask-
on the screen.
I'm in bed. It's so cold here.
Oh,
I feel like I should ask, what color is the dragon?
that's the part I don't know.
That's.
The
I'm
only
pretty
part.
sure that's an important.
That's the only part we need
I
to
mean-
know.
My point exactly.
I think.
Are we getting hazard pay for this?
Oh, of course.
And the hazard pay is.
Oh, you need to know what the money is now.
You don't plan on just telling us after we do the dangerous work.
It's worked so far. If you need to know,
Face palm.
if you need to know, I do actually have a benefactor who's very interested in Terran and will pay handsomely. And if you need a little bit of an idea, there's and she goes to a pack on the side of Keith, the giant raccoon, and unsatchels it and pulls out a few coin purses and just kind of chucks one at each of you. And you open it up to look inside, and there's about 100 gold inside each. This should cover what you've done so far.
What's wrong with you? Anyway? We're here to make that sick kid happy. Why do we
Thank you
need
very
money for it?
Ooh. Why?
You know, I
Hmm.
appreciate the sentiment, Sir Peleus, but it's obvious that some people are motivated by different things. And while you might be motivated by the warm, fuzzy feeling of helping a sick child, I know that that's also not usual. And so was prepared. But there is more, if that's what's going to motivate you to complete this.
More is a good start.
More will be a good finish when you're done.
Now, how do you know that we're not going to just swap the dragon?
If you
Like, we could come with any dragon.
you could, absolutely you could. You'd have to find one first, though.
I'm pretty sure there's dragons everywhere.
Not in Oxtern.
Okay, tell us more about this. Are we going for the dragon or are we going for something else?
We might as well go for the dragon since we've been discussing it.
A
for
trip to the
half an hour.
castle sounds interesting.
Tell us more about this dragon. What does it eat? Who it won't eat?
I don't know what I surmise based off of the rumors that I've heard is that it's trying to start its own horde.
It's trying to start a what?
Its own horde. You see, Noxtern unified many years ago. We used to be 5 separate kingdoms, and Carneath Castle was one such keep for the various kingdoms. It's been abandoned since we unified, and it's because since it's been abandoned, it's also a pretty good place for hideaways. And it's been used by a variety. The latest rumor, of course, is this dragon. I don't know how big it is. It can't be, like I said, it can't be too large, because if it were, it would have taken over this realm. And honestly, we have no idea where a dragon would have come from in the first place.
We've got a goat. Tie it up and leave it overnight and see if it disappears.
That would be a start.
Then we get another
Might
goat,
actually-
poison it.
Might even
See what
actually even
happens the next time.
convince the dragon to be. Well, if you poison it, then it's not going to convince the dragon to befriend you.
Oh, we will, but we'll make it better. We'll make it
Mm.
sick, and then we'll make it better, and it'll think we're wonderful people. Because we are, really, aren't we?
Where is this castle that you speak of?
And so she gestures towards the magical forest. She says, "It's about 12 miles that way. In and she kind of gives you a lay of the land, description of how to kind of traverse through the forest safely, where you're not going to have too many challenges with other creatures.
How is it called again, the castle?
Carneath Castle. I'll put it in the chat here for you too.
Carney Castle.
Sounds like a
wondered
dreadful place to go.
Oh.
Almost.
You sure now it's not Carney's Castle?
It's whatever you need. It's a castle. It's abandoned. It is probably nothing more than ruin once you get inside. I can't imagine it looks all that great. I will warn you, there have been, like I said, there have been other creatures and other people that have used the castle as a hideaway, so I have no idea what kind of traps the bandits would have left behind.
Only one way to find out. But if other creatures has already used its castle, then I doubt there's a dragon there, because once a dragon has put his hoard somewhere, I doubt it would tolerate other people there.
I haven't heard of bandits from Carneath for a long time, so you're probably quite right.
Oh, that's a good hint then. Let us go.
All right, so you guys start making your way
Yes.
into the forest, towards Carneath Castle, using the directions that Z has given you. Go for it.
I would first. Is there like a shop in the sanctuary as well, for the 100 GP that we just got per person?
This is not the big town. There is a much larger community further inland if you wanted to, the opposite direction. But there is a small shop, like a general goods store. There's not much for magical items. But if there's some
Health
general
potions?
items you wanted, health potions, well, hang on a second. Let me do some looking. Actually, what you could do is go to Z and ask about health potions. And in doing so, she'll say, "Well, we have a few. We try not to go through them too much. Could give you one or two and off your pay."
Sounds good. That way, we may ensure we are coming back to do more jobs.
Okay,
2 would suffice.
2. Okay, well, we'll just have to be super careful. That's almost all we got. So,
I'll try not to only use them in emergencies.
that would be good. If you could bring him back, we'll trade him up again. All right. So you take 2 health potions with you.
You guys, why don't you carry one with you, Ak? And we'll give one to Theo as well.
I'll put that in VO sheet.
Yeah. My job is to get hit,
Let's see here.
and preferably not die.
My job is to not get hit, but I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah. All right. Just putting it into the VO sheet, and then we're good to go. Oh, come on. Right. There. Okay. Well, it's in there now. Beauty.
I'm
Okay.
gonna grab a drink. Be right back.
Okay. So you guys start making your way into the forest. I'm gonna go with Peleus this time because it hasn't been Peleus for a while. It's time for Peleus to do me a roll. Peleus, I would like for you to please roll for me with the instructions that Z gave you a survival check to see if you could locate this castle.
Survival check.
Yes. And it's not that you're not going to find it, it's going to be how fast you find it. And with a 21, you basically beeline your way to it. So, let's see here. Let me find my Carney's Castle stuff here real quick. Okay. Okay. Alrighty, so as you guys make your way through the forest, it takes you, at the pace that you would travel, it takes you about 3 to 4 hours maneuvering your way through this forest. And the forest is a deciduous forest. The leaves are bright, lush green. They don't start growing until about 2 feet above Peleus' head. And then it opens up into a tall trees of a canopy of trees above you. And so there's little slivers of light that'll go through the sound of the wind going through the leaves. And it's just a light breeze at this point in time. Nice sunny day as well for you to be traveling through. The ground beneath you smells rich with the smell of like grasses and fresh wood that comes with the forest. There is a lot of fauna in the area. One point in time, a little distance away, you notice a stag kind of bound away from you. So it's not an excessively oppressive location by any stretch. It's actually relatively fresh. At one point in time, you do hear a couple of strange bird-like creatures. They're not any like any songbird you've ever heard. They almost have verbiage with what they're singing. It almost sounds like they're singing words. But aside from that, largely through this forest, it seems relatively normal. And as you continue on towards that the end of that 3rd hour, you can start to see that there's a shape, a much more delineated shape of a man-made structure through the trees. And as you get to the edge of this, what you see finally the fullness of the castle, which extends quite a ways up in front of you, um, reaching well above the treetops. And you see, as you kind of break through to your left, just a little ways off, you see a grand entrance, or at least at one point in time, it would have been grand. Um, you make your way towards that entrance. The gates are wide open. One of them's a little askew off of its hinges, and you can see inside that there has definitely been overgrowth of grass and bush inside what would have been the courtyard, but that there had also been some places cleared out. Probably not long, probably quite a while ago, actually. With a survival check of 21, you'll see this, that there was definitely some encampments here. You can see grass and shoots of bush growing through crates, through barrels and wagons and other things that must have been old scraps. You do see actually from one side some weapons that are rusting from exposure to the elements and just strewn about as well. You can step into the courtyard if you wish, unless there's someplace else you'd like to go.
No, that's fine.
Okay. So stepping into the courtyard, you do see all of these various abandoned implements from long ago encampments. And then the castle proper in front of you as well. Doors currently closed, but definitely strong and heavy wood.
Does it look like this was a siege at some point?
Not a siege, more like it was convenient to set up camp outside and less convenient to go inside. But it does look like there was a number of people who used to gather here in the courtyard not long ago. Not too long.
Like an adventurers camp almost? Or is it larger?
Very much so. No, very much like an adventurers camp. But still very much grown through. Bush, grass, kind of claiming the remnants of what was once here. And obviously abandoned.
Like last week or anything?
No, this would have been probably many months, but not so long ago as to go into history. More along the lines of maybe at most a year.
Probably a bunch of amateurs who got what they deserved.
So what do you guys do?
We're going to stealth mode.
All right, go for it.
With my plate armor and shield and war armor and everything else. I'll move stealthily. I'm going to find it. Oh, God.
Natural 20 for a 19. Natural 20 for a 19. All right.
Boom. Where's me nat 20?
So you start moving around quite quietly through this courtyard to look around. Is there anything in particular you're looking for or trying to hide from, or?
Just don't want to make excessive noise that might attract a dragon or other unwanted attention.
And Uck rolled a 4. All right. Are you gonna roll stealth too, Wet, or are you just go? Yeah, there. And okay, so Dak gets good and solidly quiet, whereas Uck and Wet, both of you, start kind of traipsing through and just walking through the courtyard. You step on a variety of different things. At one point, Uck steps onto what must have been a pallet that is just nearly rotted through, but through the weight of Uck's form, just breaks through and just cracks sound as the pallet rots out from underneath your feet. It's just a pallet though, so you would never have seen it because grass was growing through it. But yeah, Uck and Wet hath made your presence known. If there was something to notice your presence,
they know we're here now.
And so you step up to. Are you going to go inside the castle? You going to go explore the courtyard? What do you guys want to do?
Should we have a quick
Or the
scan of the
courtyard, I
courtyard?
suppose, unless anyone else had any.
Okay, say that again for me, please. Uck. Uck, I think you might be
I
super
was
laggy on me.
saying explore the courtyard.
Okay, so go ahead and I'll get both of you guys to roll a. Let's see here. Yeah, let's get both of you guys to roll a perception check.
Oh God.
All right, with an 8. Yeah, you're very much paying attention to anything in the sky right now, Dak. You're not paying much attention to the courtyard at all. Just because dragon. And little on edge with that concept. With a 17, Uck, you see a couple of the crates seem to be unopened. Maybe even sealed to a certain extent. Maybe there's things in them. Maybe.
Mm. I'll take a look inside one of the crates.
Okay. So you go to open up one of the crates, and it is that go to find out. You see this one crate that captures your attention, and it is most definitely um, sealed. You'd actually have to like crowbar it or something like that to break it apart, and open it up.
Okay, what do I see inside?
You want to do that? Okay, roll for me a strength check, please.
Rolling.
It's
Slowly.
rolling. Are you still using D&D Beyond?
Ooh, oh, almost. Yeah.
Blasphemy.
Yeah. Okay, so with an 11, it takes you a bit of effort, and
My sub.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I cancelled my sub.
Oh, there. Okay, fair. Okay, so we will. So you go to rip the top of the crate off, and as you do, snapping back at you, a bear trap that has been set inside this crate. And you take 4 points of damage as this thing scrapes across your hand and chunks across, like just grips right on your hand that was holding onto the bottom half of the crate.
Someone's going to pay for that, like big time.
It was not exactly a invisible trap, but it was one that was definitely put together last possible second. You look inside to see if there's anything else in here, and what was in here at one point in time was food scraps. As you're trying to pry this bear trap off of your hand, you're noticing it probably was food scraps, but there's not much left of it anymore.
Okay.
And you guys all hear as the twang of the spring snaps down on Uck's hand.
I just shake my head like, what an idiot.
Facepalm.
So with that, Vio says, should we be going inside then? Looks like outside is not what we expect.
Yeah, you go first, Vio. Check for traps while you're doing it, son. Or madam, I should say.
All right.
Is she a barbarian?
Yep. As I give Vio her natural 20 on an investigation check on the door to the foyer. And she's got a -1 as well, so she kind of needed it. So Vio goes up to the front doorway and says, and just kind of reaches her hand up and over, and you can see her robes kind of just draping off of her shoulders. She almost looks like a sorcerer walking up to this doorway and doing a quick inspection. She says, well, these ones seem okay, and she pushes them forward, and it opens up into the foyer of the castle. And what you see in here is a large expanse of space with red carpet that has now since long been moth-ridden or just torn and decomposed to time. Definitely still there, and probably at one point in time was rather lovely. But obviously somebody has also been stealing strips from it as well. As you can see, long runs of this red carpet is just being ripped off. There's ruined chairs and benches that were obviously here for entertainment purposes at one point in time. You do see a set of stairs that seem to lead up towards another larger chamber. And then underneath those stairs ahead is also a pair of large wooden doors. And this is your foyer of your Carneath Castle.
It's a nice castle.
Is there any
You see
track
any-
in the floor? Like, can we detect any signs of recent?
Go ahead and roll perception check.
Perception again.
Ah, nicely done with a 19. Walking
What if
in,
I'm gonna say I would help him, but
then it's a nat 20. Then we go for it because I kind of felt like that was coming anyway. You were both kind of talking there for it. So, then with that, in this space, what you see, immediately, and I'm actually going to give this one to you because that was like a 25. It's a fantastic roll. Between the two of you guys, you see the space it looks like anything of value has been stripped off. It looks like actually a couple of the larger chairs that are in the space may have had some padding on it or some form of upholstery that has also now been torn off, and just it's anything of value save for the wood itself is now pretty much gone. But you do see along those doors in the back that they have been untouched. That the double doors beneath the stairwell appear to have almost been avoided. And so you go to look at it and you kind of get the sense that there's a reason these doors have been avoided.
Could I? No. Are they? Okay.
Oh, you go ahead.
If I know that these doors have been avoided, can I search for a trap at least?
Absolutely, you can. Go ahead and roll. Actually, I'm gonna get you to roll an Arcana check. And I'm gonna give you help because I got a nat 20 on that other one. So do go ahead and do it with advantage.
I don't think it's going to help because it's -2. Oh,
Let's see.
wait, ignore that roll. Ignore that. Ignore the 26.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
too bad. That's a beautiful roll.
6.
Yeah,
8 and 9.
You don't see anything physically trapped. And now that you know what kind of a thing that, you're kind of aware of physical traps again, thanks to that damn bear trap. But there's nothing physically trapped about these doors.
I will encourage. I will encourage. I can't remember the name of the character.
Vio? Wet or Peleus?
Peleus. I'll encourage Peleus to go through first.
Go on,
Peleus,
encourage me.
I'll give you an Arcana check. I'll give you an Arcana check.
I'm an old man. You go first. Peleus, my chap.
Yeah,
And
nothing physically about weird about these doors.
I'm going to get my light crossbow out and fire a bolt at the door.
All right, give me 1 second as I look something up here real quick.
Twang.
I'm pretty certain you're gonna hit the door. Oh, come on, work with me, machine. Thank you.
I'm going to wind
All
it
right.
up, especially so I want it to make a really good impact, as if someone's.
Roll to attack.
Do I have to do an attack? Yeah.
Yep, absolutely you do. Okay.
7 piercing damage.
Yeah, because a 15 hits the door, and you do see that it just makes this great big scrape. Actually, no, it's a crossbow bolt, so the bolt just goes boom into the door and just sticks out from the door now.
Are you satisfied now? Go through the door. Peleus?
Where is
I
everybody
walk
in the
through
room right now?
door.
You are at the door. Okay.
I'll walk through it,
All right, Wet.
shaking my head about the children bickering about the door.
All right, I need you all, because you're all beside the door, to roll for me a dexterity saving throw.
Is this something that I can see?
I would say with your 9 Arcana check, no. But there's an nat 20
Okay, so I don't get advantage.
on Peleus.
I get an advantage on dex saves against effects that I can see.
Oh, you can take that one then. Yeah. Ooh. And that's
You
a
rolled
6
the
on...
same dice, but died 20 twice in the game. The chance of doing that is like 190 to 1, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You do it again. You've done it like ridiculous. Okay, so 18. Let's see here. What's the DC on mine? Okay, so I gotta roll these out here real quick. Where is all my stuff? Right here. We're gonna do that, I think. Is that right? Let's see here. Yep. Okay. So here we go. Oh, I rolled low. You guys are happy, especially Wet. So as you push the doors open, this stream of green liquid just sprays out across both sides of the doorway to strike you all. Wet, you are right in the blast range, and you take 15 points of acid damage as you feel it to just kind of start to eat away immediately at your skin.
Acid resistance.
Ah!
Acid resistance.
Nice. You are so lucky.
Peleus and Uck, you guys take each 7 points of acid
Me too.
damage as you get the best stuff that bounces off of Wet.
Me too.
And it just your doors are now open.
I'll step over the burning, melting mass into the room.
And so you step into this room, and it is a grand banquet hall. You do look above you. You see a balcony directly above your head as well. You see banners hanging that, well, what were banners that at one point in time, all strips being torn from them, tassels being yanked off of them as well, would have denounced proud lineage to this kingdom. But you also see and large tables, long tables filling the room as well. At the end, 2 very large chairs, obviously clearly meant to be the thrones for the royals themselves. And you see broken windows behind them, natural light pouring in to this space through them, and the cloud and dust of years gone by just hanging in the threads of light in this space.
Okay. I recall the days of my childhood in school where I once played a dragon in a school play, and I will remember vividly the calls that dragons make in order to get attention. So I'll start saying, "Psh, psh, 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 dragon," psh, 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 calling out for the dragon.
Sounds nothing like a dragon.
All right.
They go, "Ka-ka, ka-ka."
Dragon, dragon. Psh, 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 psh.
And with that, Peleus' stealth is now dropped. So, you guys are all now very much in this open space.
Why is all this acid here, by the way? What happened? Maybe it's an acid dragon?
You just walked through the door and you splashed us.
Was it like an
Do I
acid
not
trap,
hear
or
the-
was the whole door filled with acid?
It was just an acid trap. It was definitely something that
acid
was
trap.
set up at the door, but not ever. It was obviously the door was being avoided at one point, and now you know why it was being avoided. But
Was
it
it
wasn't something that was
just-
built into the castle itself. It was something that was placed there probably after it was abandoned.
Was
My
it just
clothes.
like a bucket over the door? A bucket of acid over the door that just splashed everywhere?
It looks actually like it was like almost like a wine skin that when the door pulled or when the door was pushed open, it actually tore open the wine skin and just.
Wow. That's an impressive wineskin filled with acid. Okay.
My
Do we
clothes
hear
are
any
all
leathery
ruined.
wings? My loincloth is getting a little bit smaller. A little bit too small. A mini loincloth.
You're wearing
DM
a
decides
loincloth.
not to respond.
I mean, it's
How small is too?
tiny
Nope,
now.
I went there. How small is too small? Okay.
Do she say? Not to look.
I mean, I'm supporting the Brazilian look now. I'm changing my race to Brazilian guy, wandering the beach.
This is one of those times where I really wish that Vio was here because I am not going to play out what she would say in response, but I know she'd say something. So you guys now have yourself to this large grand hall, and it is very tall. You do actually see behind the throne, to one side, there is a door that seems to be. It's a small door. It might be like a service person's door.
Hmm. Okay. Not hearing any sound. Maybe leathery wings flapping.
Roll perception check.
That's not gonna be good. That's the problem when you roll your stats on a d20. Oh god. 6.
Have you rolled a double digit number yet, Carney?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm noticing this.
I got
Anyway.
a 17 on the saving throw. That's it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. So with a 6, it's quiet in here. I mean, you might hear a little bit of sizzling on the skin, but that's it.
Yes, maybe too quiet. Peleus, explore. I'll take a step back.
Peleus, you
He's
go in.
wearing heavy armor, isn't he?
Are you? I actually don't remember that. Peleus, are you wearing heavy armor?
Yeah,
Okay, so are you stepping into the room then?
yeah.
Push him
Okay.
forwards.
So as you step into the room or get shoved into the room, as the case may be, you can actually take in a little bit more of it behind you as well. So you look up towards the balcony, And what you see is that the balcony on one side actually has another doorway up there. And there's another set of stairs that lead up to the balcony up here. So there were stairs from the foyer as well as stairs from this grand hall that lead up to that balcony. And then there's a door on that second level as well, which seems to lead to some. You can see the door's open, and it looks to be like the chamber that's inside is it's not small. It's not a private chamber, but there is definitely a chamber up there that you could explore further if you wanted to. There's also the door behind the throne, and all the long tables, all of the vestments and all of the tapestries very much removed by this point in time. So you guys all follow it.
To the door behind the throne, then.
All right, so you go to look towards the door behind the throne, and what you kind of peer through it, and what you see is some stairs that descend downward. This is the least opulent location in the building. It's just wooden stairs that go straight downstairs, and it's a thin hallway, so it does not look like this would be something that any lady wearing a hoop skirt would be able to fit through. Probably servants' quarters, maybe the kitchen. Something servitude for sure. You could try to go down if you wanted to.
How's the furniture? Is it still there, or is it like trashed?
The furniture that you see in here, they're certainly not set up to welcome entertainment. There's a couple of them that seem to have been wrecked, but the majority of the furniture in here is actually still very serviceable. The throne chairs don't have any of their upholstery on it anymore. It's all been torn off. In fact, actually, it looks at one point in time like there might have been on the back posts of the chair these ornate things that have just been ripped off. But you could actually see, if you inspect the throne, you can actually see where the wood has just been like sheared off. Go ahead, Carney.
Do we see any footprints in the dust?
In this space, you don't see. You see layers of dust on footprints in dust.
Okay. Any dust sheets within the room?
There are two tables that have what would have been very nice. It almost looks like gold thread inlaid tablecloths on it. That have been, but the tablecloths have been ripped into strips and just piled on a table, so maybe just not taken.
Look under both tables, and can I see anything at all underneath both tables?
All of these, and actually, now that you're under the tables, you can actually see underneath pretty much everything in the room. There isn't much in this space at all. You see a couple of places where, like, maybe somebody set a bag down here a long time ago. You do see one spot on the wall where there is. It looks like there was 2 feet, but you also see kind of this shadowy silhouette on the wall of what appears to have been maybe a suit of armor. So maybe a suit of armor stood here a long, long time ago, and the sun beaming in through this space bleached the wall around the suit of armor. Most of the things are all gone.
Okay.
Stripped out everything, it looks like. So I'm going to say to Wet and Nook, there's a door on the second floor up there, and there's the set of stairs down here behind the throne. You think up or down?
I'm okay either way. I'll leave the acid expert to decide.
I'm not an expert, but I think dragons would like to stay up more than down. Maybe we should look in the towers. Were the towers or?
There were
Uh,
forms of towers, yes. Not very tall.
Can we get any idea of the? Is any of the furniture extremely damaged?
Yeah, that's what I asked before. That's why I asked if it was trashed.
Not a lot
No,
of
no,
it.
but I don't mean damaged trash like that. I mean damaged from. Can we get an indication, maybe, if there's some of the furniture has been charred, or if some of it has been maybe damaged by acid, or something has been any lightning
Sure.
bolt shapes around the place?
Not in this space.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not in this
Right.
space. It actually just looks like an abandoned location.
Let's move on, I suppose.
All right. So, let's see here. Give me 1 second as I just look something up here real quick. All right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, if you guys are you guys going up to the second level? Then is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you take the stairwell to go up to the second level, and as you get to that top level, you do see that there was again red carpet that ran down the center of this balcony, which is basically just a hallway that's opened up to the grand hall below. You do see the double doors to your right, where you can look through the double doors and you can see back out into the foyer that you first came in from. But you carry on further down, and what you notice now as you get closer to that doorway, exactly as Uck was looking for, there is evidence of a different type of damage. Not something being sundered by axe or sword, but rather something being dissolved. And what you see is that the stone structure seems to have actually been eaten a little bit away around the door frame to the room that you're about to step into. And the door is open. As you step in, what you see as you step in and kind of get close to this somewhat worn away stonework is this chamber that you see extends easily 40 feet up and above you. It's not exactly a large one on the ground. It's probably no more than 40 feet. But you do see that this carpet continues on towards two more chairs that are very much throne like in here. But those are the only two structures in this room that remain intact. What you see inside here as well is a fairly large lizard-like creature. As you guys are standing in this doorway, just kind of settled with its chin on top of a pile of what seems to be useless stuff for the most part, and just watching you in the doorway.
There's the dragon, guys.
No larger than a horse, and not even a large horse, more like a pony.
A big dog.
Did you know?
Right away.
So you just, the complete aside, did you know that for many of the First Nations in the United States and Canada, they didn't actually have a word for horse, so they just called it big dog in their language? There you go.
Okay.
Big dog.
Oh,
So there you go.
I immediately hide again next to the wall of the door.
For sure.
What color is it?
It is. It has a metallic sheen to its scales.
That's one of the nasty ones then.
A little bit of a bronzedish, reddish color, copper, perhaps.
Go and talk to it, Peleus. Show it your faith.
Show my love.
Peleus, roll for me a perception check.
Hello, Mr. Dragon. Perception.
Yeah.
Make it excellent. Yes.
19. Nice. So looking around this space as well as at the dragon in particular, because earlier on you were really paying attention to the dragon, had no idea what was going on in the courtyard. Now that the dragon is here, your senses seem to be really attuned to everything that's going on around you. You see that it is currently sitting on a small collection that is obviously kind of tucked into itself with its legs and its tail. Chunks of copper, broken bits of swords. One of the things underneath them looks to be a breastplate. Anything shiny, that may have been in this space, and there's not a lot of value to it from the looks of things. Pretty certain that change purse that you were given by Z this morning, is probably about 5 times more value than what this dragon's got collected underneath it. But what you also notice is what looks to be eggshell in that exact same pile. A brown and black speckled eggshell.
Eggshell.
So it hatched.
All put together, probably about this big.
Oh. And it's asleep at the moment.
I was looking at us.
It's looking at you. It's just sitting there watching.
Does anybody talk dragon?
How far away from it? How far away are we from it and the horde?
Probably about 15 feet.
I will take out the 2 gold coins that I received earlier, and I'll flip them both onto the horde.
It just lifts its head up like super fast, and before the gold even gets a chance to touch the horde, it actually a snake-like tongue darts out of its head, and it just kind of grabs it with its tongue and places it down into its horde.
Who talks dragon?
Who's a good boy? Who'd like some more gold? Who'd like some more gold? We have lots. We have lots for you, and I love you.
It's a proud and majestic creature. It's not a pet.
For some reason, I speak halfling. I don't know why this is. I will. My coin pouch, I'll start, shaking it around. Come on. Do you want to come with us? Do you want to have a new horde? A big horde this time?
And it kind of lifts itself back up onto its front legs a little bit and looks at you. You're not very smart, are you?
That's good, because you can take advantage of me very easily.
I'm still hiding around the corner, by the way.
Sure, roll me a stealth check and roll me a perception check, Uck. Not
What
perception,
color
persuasion. Persuasion, I should say.
Persuasion. Oh, God.
It smelled
What
me.
color is the...
3.
He looks copper-like in color.
8.
And he kind of leans up on his legs and says to you, and why should I follow when I simply can just take? And that's where we're going to end today's episode.
And you will get eaten.
And that is where we end today.
Nice.
As you have now approached yourselves a dragon and tried to entice it with a bag full of gold.
A measly 2 gold pieces.
So we'll do our quick closing announcements.
Sorry.
So I'm just going to do my closing announcements again. Just a quick reminder, we're still doing a Roll for Wishes campaign. We're going to try and hit 250 by March. Please feel free to donate. Based on this whole Roll for Wishes campaign we're actually playing this game on right now. Appreciate any donations we can get that way for the Make-A-Wish International. We have our games again tomorrow, Witchlight and Wesmia. See where that takes us. Because they got the big lore drop. Now they got to decide what they're going to do with all the knowledge. Tomorrow night, Legend of Zelda Echoes with DM Verod. And then on Friday, back to All Around Chronicles, where we see some political intrigue starting to kick in. And I believe we're going to carry on with Adventures of Ala Inn on Friday at 1:30 p.m. Lots of stuff happening on the channel. Back into the regular swing of things, I'm hoping, again. Huzzah. That is all of the things. And then, actually, Sky, where's your games this week?
Tomorrow we have the Nomads of Faroon at 8 p.m. Dutch time. That's UTC +1, I think.
Okay.
And Sunday we also have our own Witchlight campaign in Dutch, of course. Everything is in Dutch, unfortunately.
Well, it's fortunate.
For the
So,
English speakers, of us.
Yeah.
you know what?
Somebody has to make the Dutch D&D. So
There you go. That's right. So that's Dutch Dungeons on the channel if you wish. So you can certainly go check that out. I'll put the out. Is it Dutch Dungeons or Dutch Dungeon? I always get this mixed up.
Dungeons.
Beauty. There it is. So you feel free to check them out.
How you play in Dutch but read it all in English.
Well, and you know what?
We read it in
All the
Dutch.
character sheets are in English and everything. It's like
Yeah, well, we
I can't
keep the
I
game
can't
terms
speak
the
another
same,
language, so I
right?
can't get my head around it. So.
Yeah. Well, you know,
It's easy.
if you watch it, actually, it's not that hard to follow, especially if you happen to know a lot about D&D. It's actually, even if you're not a Dutch speaker yourself. So
We still use the words prone and advantage and
yeah,
those are kind of things, but
yeah.
That's
So
what I mean. It's all like you say things like soldier, and I think there must be a Dutch word for soldier, but why they use it?
soldat.
Soldat, that's right, yeah. And then Dak and I are working on getting the campaign going for him here soon too. So watch out for announcements on that when it happens. And yeah, there we go. That pretty much. Hey, let's go. What do you say we go raid somebody? What do you say? Let's go raid. Who's available for raiding right now? Winter's Tales is still going. Mike Moans is going as well. We could probably. He's doing Warhammer minis right now.
Oh,
Oh, hey, I heard a response from that. So I think that's what we'll do is we'll go say hello to Mike today.
He's a brilliant painter. Have you seen some of this stuff he's done?
It's fantastic stuff right there. So, and with that,
Judge Dredd, Judge Death, it was just brilliant.
and with that, we say thank you. Take care of each other, love each other, and we will see you all
Bye.
later on. Cheerio.
bye.